So, you finally went to that new bakery yesterday. How was it?
Oh, it was good, really good. Like, nice.
Just good and nice? You waited in line for 40 minutes for nice?
Okay, that is fair. I need better words. It was incredible, but I just do not know how to describe it.
Hello, lovely learner. Welcome back to Everyday English Learning, where we find the right words for real life.
Hi there, I'm Jake.
And I'm Lily. Today, we are talking about everyone's favorite subject, food.
Specifically, how to talk about your favorite foods naturally.
Yes. Have you ever tried to describe a delicious meal in English, and your brain just stopped working?
You just end up saying, "It is very delicious," over and over again.
Exactly. When we love a dish, we want to share that experience. But finding the exact words can be surprisingly difficult.
I actually have a very specific food craving right now. I was trying to explain it to you before we started recording.
Oh, I remember. It is a very strange flavor combination.
It is, but there is a reason why I love it so much. I just need to figure out how to explain the texture to you.
We will definitely get to your strange snack later. But today, we are going to learn how to move beyond basic words like good or tasty.
We will give you natural phrases to describe flavors, textures, and why a certain meal just makes you feel happy. Let's get into it.
So, before we give everyone better vocabulary, we have to talk about this snack of yours. What exactly were you eating before we started recording?
Okay, please don't judge me. It was a piece of warm toast with peanut butter and a slice of sharp cheddar cheese on top.
Wait, peanut butter and cheese? Together? Jake, that sounds completely terrible.
I know! Everyone says that, but it's actually amazing. The peanut butter is rich and slightly sweet, and the cheese is salty and savory.
Savory. That's a great word to remember. We use savory to describe food that's salty or spicy, not sweet, like roasted meat, soup, or in your case, sharp cheese.
Exactly. It's a perfect, savory snack. But when I tried to explain this to my brother last week, I just said, "It's really good." He looked at me like I was crazy.
Well, if you just say peanut butter and cheese is good, nobody is going to believe you. And that's actually the most common mistake we make when talking about food.
What do you mean? What's the mistake?
When we describe a meal, we almost always focus only on the basic taste. We rely on words like delicious, tasty, or just good. We think the taste is the whole story.
That's true. When someone asks how my lunch was, my automatic response is always, "It was delicious."
Right, but delicious is an empty word. It tells me that you liked the food, but it tells me absolutely nothing about the food itself.
That's a really good point. The word delicious doesn't explain if the food was spicy, cold, heavy, or light. It just means I enjoyed eating it.
Exactly. And that brings us to the first big shift. If you want to talk about food naturally, you have to move past taste and start talking about texture.
Texture, meaning how the food actually feels in your mouth when you're eating it.
Yes, texture is often what makes a meal truly memorable. Is it crunchy? Is it soft? Is it chewy?
Ah, I see. The reason my toast is so good isn't just the flavor. It's because the bread is hot and crispy, but the peanut butter is thick and creamy.
See? Now you're actually describing the experience. Even though I still think the flavor combination sounds strange, I can imagine the crispy bread and the creamy peanut butter.
It honestly just hits the spot when I need a quick afternoon snack.
Hits the spot. That's another excellent English phrase. When food hits the spot, it means it's exactly what you needed or wanted at that specific moment.
Yes, it satisfies that exact craving. So, our main problem is that we paint a picture using only one color. We say tasty and forget to mention the crispiness or the temperature.
Exactly. If you only use basic adjectives like you did when you called that fancy bakery nice, you're leaving out all the details that make the food interesting to another person.
I admit, saying a 40-minute wait was just for a nice pastry was terrible storytelling. I really want my friends to feel how amazing that bakery was.
Learning to describe texture will definitely help, but honestly, texture and flavor are still just the physical parts of the food. There's an even deeper reason why basic words fail us.
Really? What could be more important than how a dish tastes and feels?
Context and memory. Think about a time you ate something simple, but it felt like the best meal of your life.
Oh, that's easy. A few years ago, I went camping. It rained all day, and our tent was absolutely freezing.
Oh no, that sounds miserable. What did you eat?
We just had basic instant noodles, but sitting in that cold tent, eating those salty noodles, it was pure perfection.
Exactly. Were they a culinary masterpiece? No. But the contrast made it amazing. That's the perfect example of comfort food.
Comfort food. We use that phrase a lot. It's food that gives you emotional comfort, not just physical energy. Usually, it's something warm.
Right. Like macaroni and cheese or a thick stew. We often describe those meals as hearty. A hearty meal is large, filling, and satisfying.
Hearty? I love that word. It sounds like exactly what you need after working outside in the cold.
It really is. And in your camping story, the temperature was key. You were freezing and the noodles were piping hot.
Piping hot. That's a great phrase. It means extremely hot, usually straight off the stove.
Yes, piping hot sounds much more natural than just saying very hot. So it warmed you up from the inside out.
It changed my whole mood. So, when I tell that story, I shouldn't just say the noodles were tasty.
No, because tasty is a boring word. You should say, I was freezing, and those piping hot noodles hit the spot.
You're combining all our phrases. But you're right. Giving the listener the context is what makes the story interesting.
Yes, food is almost always connected to memory. Think about a childhood dish. When you eat it now, you aren't just tasting ingredients.
That's so true. For me, it's my mother's homemade lasagna.
Oh, lasagna is the ultimate hearty comfort food. Why is that dish so special?
She only ever made it for my birthday. Now, whenever I eat it, it reminds me of feeling completely celebrated.
It reminds me of... That's a perfect, reusable sentence pattern. You can say, it reminds me of my childhood, or it reminds me of home.
Yes, it's such a useful frame. Whenever I eat this, it reminds me of... What about you, Lily?
For me, it's toast with butter and cinnamon. Whenever I eat it, it reminds me of rainy Sunday mornings.
That sounds incredibly cozy. Notice how neither of us used the word delicious just now to describe our favorite meals?
Exactly. We painted a picture instead. We talked about rainy mornings, birthdays, and a freezing tent. The flavor was secondary.
Okay, I'm fully convinced that context and memory are important, but I think there's a flaw in this theory.
A flaw? What do you mean?
Well, what if you're trying a completely new food? Or what if you're eating at a high-end restaurant?
Ah, I see. You don't have a childhood memory attached to a brand new dish.
Right. If I'm eating a beautiful piece of grilled salmon, I can't say it reminds me of my grandmother. She only cooked burnt meatloaf.
Oh no. Please tell me you never told her that.
Never. It's a family secret. But my point is, sometimes food is just about the present moment, not nostalgia.
That's a fair point. Sometimes you just need to describe the quality of the ingredients and the chef's skill.
Exactly. So, how do we describe a truly high-quality meal? Because I still need to explain why that pastry was worth a 40-minute wait.
That is a great question. When a dish doesn't have a nostalgic memory attached, you have to talk about the craft.
The craft? Like how the food was actually made?
Yes. What exactly was this pastry you waited so long for?
It was a plain croissant. I know that sounds boring, but it was massive.
Okay, instead of just calling it nice, let's break down the sensory details. What did the outside feel like compared to the inside?
Well, the outside was incredibly flaky. When I took a bite, these tiny, crisp layers just shattered everywhere.
Flaky. That is a fantastic texture word. We use it for pastries, biscuits, and sometimes even cooked fish.
It definitely was flaky, and the inside was warm, soft, and so buttery, it practically melted in my mouth.
Melt in your mouth. That is one of the best phrases you can use in English to describe high-quality food.
It really is perfect. It means the food is so soft, tender, and rich that you barely even have to chew it.
Exactly. High-quality food almost always has a contrast in texture, like your flaky, soft croissant. Or, I hate to admit it, your peanut butter and cheese toast.
See? You are finally starting to understand my culinary genius. Contrast makes the experience interesting.
Let's not get carried away. I understand the theory, but I still will not eat it.
Fair enough. But you are right about contrast. A supermarket croissant doesn't have that. It is just soft all the way through.
Exactly. So, when a meal has no emotional memory attached, we replace the memory with attention.
Attention? Do you mean just paying closer attention to what we are actually eating?
Yes. Think about how often we eat while looking at our phones, working, or watching a screen.
Almost every day. If I eat lunch while typing an email, my brain doesn't register the flavor. If someone asks me how it was, I just say, it was fine.
Right. You didn't actually notice the details. But at the bakery, you were probably standing outside, completely focused on eating that fresh croissant.
I wasn't looking at my phone. I was just enjoying the warmth, the buttery taste, and the flaky texture.
That focus is what made it a great experience. When you pay attention, you can also talk about the quality of the ingredients.
Like saying, you could really taste the fresh butter, instead of just saying, it tasted good.
Exactly. Or if you have fruit, you might say, the strawberries were perfectly ripe.
Perfectly ripe. That implies they were at the exact right moment to be eaten. Not too hard and not too soft.
Yes. And if you go out for a fancy dinner, you can describe the presentation. How did the food look on the plate?
I actually went to a steakhouse recently. I could say, the presentation was stunning and the steak was cooked to perfection.
Cooked to perfection. That is a beautiful, natural phrase. It sounds so much more sophisticated than saying, the chef cooked it well.
And I could add that the meat was incredibly tender.
Tender is the opposite of tough. It is the exact right word for high-quality meat. Notice how you didn't need a childhood memory to make that description sound amazing?
I didn't. I just needed to focus on the present moment. I needed to describe the texture, the contrast, and the craft.
Exactly. Memory gives food meaning, but attention gives food detail. And you need details to tell a good story.
So, whether I am eating a gourmet steak, a 40-minute pastry, or my strange little cheese toast, I just need to notice what my senses are telling me.
So, we have all these great pieces now. We have texture, context, and attention to detail. But how do we put them together in a real conversation?
That is the hard part. When someone asks, "How was your dinner?" my brain still panics. I forget all the vocabulary and just say, "It was nice."
To stop the panic, you can use a very simple three-part framework. I call it the flavor, feel, and finish method.
Oh, I love a good three-step method. Flavor, feel, and finish. Break it down for me.
Step 1 is flavor. Instead of saying delicious, pick one descriptive word. Is it savory, rich, sweet, sour, or spicy?
Okay, so for my strange cheese and peanut butter toast, the flavor is savory and rich.
Exactly. Step 2 is feel, which means texture. This is where you mention the physical experience and any contrast. Is it soft, flaky, crispy, chewy, or tender?
The toast is hot and crispy, but the peanut butter is thick and creamy. So far, this is easy. What is the finish?
The finish is the context or the feeling. This is where you say, it hit the spot, or it reminds me of home, or the meat was cooked to perfection.
So, I give them a flavor, a texture, and a personal reaction. That makes a complete, interesting story.
Yes! You are giving the listener a mini experience. Let's test it out. I want you to go back to yesterday. Redo your description of that bakery pastry. And remember, do not use the words good or nice.
Challenge accepted. Okay, let me think. The croissant was incredibly buttery and rich. That is the flavor.
Perfect. What about the feel?
The outside was so flaky it shattered when I bit into it, but the inside practically melted in my mouth.
Beautiful contrast. And the finish?
Honestly, after waiting outside in the freezing wind for 40 minutes, that warm pastry just completely hit the spot. It was exactly what I needed.
Wow, Jake, that was perfect. I actually want to go to that bakery with you next time.
See? The framework works. But what if the food isn't a beautiful gourmet pastry? What if you are describing a really boring meal?
That is a great test. Let's say you just had a plain, sad desk salad for lunch while working. How do you describe that naturally?
A sad desk salad. Okay, flavor, well, it was mostly just green.
Green is a color, Jake, not a flavor. Try again.
Okay, fair point. It was very light and fresh. For the texture, the lettuce was crunchy, but maybe a little bit too tough.
Good. And what is the finish for a tough salad?
The finish, well, it definitely didn't melt in my mouth. But it was healthy, and it gave me enough energy to finish my workday.
That is a genuinely excellent description. You took a boring salad and made it conversational. You don't have to pretend everything is a culinary masterpiece.
That is a relief. If I told you my sad lettuce was cooked to perfection, you would know I was lying.
Exactly. Honesty makes the conversation better. So, for our listeners, we have a small challenge for you today.
Yes. Think about the last thing you ate. It could be your breakfast, a quick snack, or a fancy dinner.
Try to describe it right now using the flavor, feel, and finish method. Speak it out loud to yourself.
Did it have a rich flavor? Was it flaky or tender? Did it hit the spot?
If you practice this a few times, your brain will automatically stop relying on empty words.
Exactly. Now that we have a solid structure, it is time to review the specific vocabulary we learned today.
Welcome to Meaning Moments, the part of our show where we break down the most useful language from today's conversation.
And since today is all about food, just talking about these words is making me incredibly hungry again.
Well, try to focus for just a little bit longer. Our first target word today is savory.
We use savory to describe food that is salty, rich, or spicy, but definitely not sweet. It is a much better word than just saying something tastes like a real dinner.
Exactly. A bowl of chicken noodle soup, a slice of garlic pizza, or roasted vegetables are all savory foods. Repeat. Savory.
Savory.
Perfect. Our second target word is actually a broad category, and that is texture.
Texture refers to how the food actually feels in your mouth when you take a bite. Is it crunchy, soft, chewy, or completely smooth?
Yes. When you talk about texture, you instantly make your description much more interesting for the listener. Repeat, texture.
Texture.
Our third item is one of my absolute favorite English idioms. It is the phrase, hit the spot.
You use this when a food or drink is exactly what you needed or wanted at that specific moment. Just like my warm peanut butter and cheese toast.
I knew you were going to bring that up again. I still refuse to eat it, but you are completely right. It satisfied your craving perfectly.
It really did. Or, if you are really thirsty after a run, you can say, that cold glass of water really hit the spot.
Beautiful example. Repeat. Hit the spot.
Hit the spot.
Our fourth word is hearty. We talked about hearty meals when you mentioned your freezing camping trip.
A hearty meal is large, warm, filling, and deeply satisfying. It gives you physical energy and emotional comfort. A small desk salad is definitely not hearty, but a thick bowl of beef stew absolutely is.
Exactly. Hearty food is perfect for the winter season or after a long day of hard physical work. Repeat. Hearty.
Hearty.
And our fifth phrase is melt in your mouth. We use this idiom to describe exceptionally high-quality, tender food.
It means the food is so soft and rich that you barely even need to chew it. Like that beautiful buttery pastry I waited 40 minutes for in the freezing wind.
Yes, or a perfectly cooked piece of expensive steak. It is the ultimate compliment for a skilled chef. Repeat. Melt in your mouth.
Melt in your mouth.
Great job. Are you ready to put these phrases into action?
Absolutely. I love a good test.
Now it is time for our Say It Better challenge. Jake, I am going to give you a basic, boring sentence about food.
And I will upgrade it using the natural, descriptive vocabulary we learned today. I am ready.
Upgrade number 1. Instead of saying, the soup was very warm, What is a much better phrase?
You should say, the soup was piping hot.
Excellent. Upgrade number 2. Instead of saying, the chef cooked the meat well, how can you make it sound like a high-end restaurant review?
You can say, the meat was cooked to perfection.
Perfect. Upgrade number 3. Instead of saying, the outside of the pastry broke into small, dry pieces, what is the exact texture word?
The outside of the pastry was incredibly flaky.
That sounds much more appetizing. And upgrade number 4. Instead of saying, I really liked that coffee, it was exactly what I wanted. What is a more natural idiom?
You would definitely say, that coffee really hit the spot.
Spot on. Now, let's do a quick guided practice for our listeners. I am going to give you a situation, and I want you to create a complete sentence using our new words.
Listeners, try to answer out loud before I do. Take your time. What is the situation, Lily?
Imagine you went to a wonderful Italian restaurant for your birthday. You ordered a large bowl of homemade pasta. How would you describe the flavor and the feeling?
Okay, you could say, the pasta was absolutely incredible. It was a rich, savory dish, and it was such a hearty meal that I couldn't even finish it all.
That was fantastic. You used 2 of our target words to paint a really clear picture. Let's try one more situation.
Bring it on, I am ready for dessert.
You bought a fresh chocolate chip cookie from a local bakery. It is warm right out of the oven. How do you describe the texture?
You could easily say, the cookie was piping hot, and the chocolate was so soft that it practically melted in my mouth.
Wonderful. That is exactly how you move beyond just calling your food nice or good.
It takes a little bit of practice to notice these details, but it makes talking about food so much more engaging. And now, I think it is time to wrap up this delicious episode.